We're on.
It's starting. I think we've got this. I think if YouTube could not be so laggy, that'd be amazing. Oh, okay, we're live now. So
How do I go about seeing the chat then?
I can see the chat. I have a extra window open right now. So to everybody who I don't know if people are joining right now, but I do need to God damn, my computer is laggy. You know what? I can open
Yeah.
up the chat on my phone. But
Okay.
two people who are joining, there's like two people watching.
What's up, guys? Welcome
What up?
to Salt, Iron, Kerosene #2, the Sneak Attack live show. I thought that there was going to be an episode tonight, but apparently they decided to take a month off. What the hell is up with that, man?
Felt that.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the 200th episode of Supernatural. We figured, why not just go ahead and hit all the milestones. We had episode 100, 150, 200, 250 on a poll, and a staggering amount of people, 52%, I believe, was the last, or no, 57%, I believe, right?
I think it was at 60.
Or was it up to 60?
Checked,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a
60
lot
of
of
y'all
people want us to
fuckers.
talk about the 200th episode, the one with the high school musical. It was a high school, I believe.
Yes, it was. It was the musical with the the episode with the musical. Sorry, I'm just sharing the link right now to the
take
stream.
Your time, man. No worries. I can riff. Basically, man, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait about 5 to 10 minutes just to get a crowd in here. We want to make sure that everybody voted. It has enough time to realize that we're, late, and that's a scandal. So we realize that, and thank you for giving us the time and not deciding to go watch Gotham or something.
Gotham. All right, so I have the comments up on my phone right now.
Okay, so I'm going to rely on you to when we come to our question and answer phase to spit them at me, man.
Exactly. So I'm assuming we're probably gonna go live for about an hour, so around 10:30
because you
my
guys are
time.
wondering about Jackers, I decided to chloroform him because I don't think that he would be able to sit still through this.
Tag yourself on the chloroform.
He's been very upset about something that we'll speak about at another time.
All right, so there's about 4 people watching right now. So hello to you 4 people that are here.
How's it going, guys?
This. If you guys don't know, because we're on my channel right now, this is Josh. He runs the Deadlighter Collection channel, where I join him in the show. Should I call it show?
Yeah, it's a show, man. Okay. It's a damn show.
Just want to know the right words to use. For Salt, Iron, and Kerosene. And if you would like to see the first episode, which we recorded after the 300th episode, it's on his channel, and the link is in the description to go subscribe to him.
Yeah, it's a good episode, man. You get to meet not only me, but you get to meet my good friend Jackers, who's a big fan of Supernatural and Barney the Dinosaur. So
I felt that. Why Barney exactly?
Well, when we were younger, my little brother used to watch Barney all the time. Mm-hmm. And those songs just get stuck into my head all the time too. So now they got stuck in his head too.
It's like an earworm, basically.
Joke, man. It's just a throwaway joke that I think is going to take off.
Mm-hmm. So I actually made a few notes about fan fiction. I did rewatch some of it today, but I was a little bit in the middle of something. But I've seen the episode like 20 times at this point.
Before we start that though, guys, we are going to be doing a question and answer section too. So if you guys would like to submit your questions at the time that I deem it so, we'll give you whoever was here first go at it. Okay. So if there's only how many people in here now, Jade? Still 4?
Yeah, still 4. It went to 5 and then it went to 4. Which is a little bit surprising because when I used to get bombarded about live streams when I used to do them, because if you see on my channel, I did like about 30 live streams. I did once, one every week. And every time I was late, I got like people thought I was dead. Like I was just like, what the fuck? Because I don't know.
Jackers might be dead. I might have to go check on him.
Maybe, I don't know, but but yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of surprised because I used to have a good like 30, sometimes 40 people in my live streams, but it is also late at night. I used to live stream like in the morning.
I mean, well, I'll have to plan this out better. Well,
yeah,
I mean, it's only 9:30. That's not too late, but all right.
But yeah, for me it's 9:30. Oh, Teshua said the Discord seems to be dead. Yeah, it is.
Discord?
Oh, I have 2 Discord servers. What I mentioned to you before.
You're right.
Yeah.
I was just making sure I heard you correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and start talking about it now. So Jade, you said that you wrote down some notes. I've got mine up here, but I would let you go first.
Oh, okay. So I love this episode, not even gonna lie. And for all y'all who are just joining, because I see we're talking about the 200th episode because that's what you guys had voted. Honestly, first of all, the message to the fans with that episode I really liked because it's kind of telling us like do what you want with like, you know, because I suck at talking. But
just let it go.
I have word vomit all the time, so it takes me a second to get to the point.
Whenever I call my doctor's office, I feel like forget how to talk. So I get it, man.
Oh god, whenever I'm on the phone with like anybody, I'm just like, So, but what I was saying was the message to the fans in that episode, fan fiction, is I like that because I don't know about you. I'm assuming that you probably don't read fan fiction.
Not in Supernatural because of, the content is ridiculous. I've read a few, but it's like, come on.
I have read some,
which is ironic though, because
fiction.
I'm writing 2 scripts, so I guess that would be considered fan fiction, right?
I would assume so, yeah. But I think the message of that episode is kind of like the writer saying, you know what, like we don't really care what you guys interpret this as. Do what you want with the show because it's everybody's, you know?
Yeah, I can understand that for sure.
Yeah, that's like my favorite part about that episode. Secondly, we really need to have an actual play of Supernatural.
I definitely think that, like, American Idiot was made into a musical. They could definitely do something with Supernatural.
Oh my god, I've always wanted to go see American Idiot. I fucking love
Green Day. I saw it 2 years ago out here in Tacoma.
Damn, I wish I could do that. I love Green Day. I have a Green Day tattoo, actually. Nice. So, yeah, I fucking love Green Day. And then, a lot of people like to mention fan fiction because 2 things. They first mentioned Carry On Wayward Son in that epised, and they mentioned Adam for the first time since season 6.
Yeah, I think that was a big deal. People thought that they forgot about him, Mm-hmm. But, the one character that I wish that they would have, said, yeah, we haven't even forgot about this person too, is fucking Jesse, bro.
Oh, yeah, Antichrist Kid. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought with the Nephilim thing, I thought that they were going to maybe bring him back.
I think the perfect time for them to bring him back probably would have been around season 13 because...
Yeah.
Like, how many people did they bring back in season 13? We had Naomi, we had Gabriel, we had a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that they could have brought him back, to be honest with you. Like, we're actually one of the questions that was submitted to me on the 300th episode cast was, who would you want to bring back the most? And we'll get to that later, though. Mm-hmm. But that's definitely a runner up for me. If it were to come to that, there's another character that I want to see so badly, especially with the fact that heaven is breaking down.
There is one character that I will always want back in Supernatural, and anybody who watches me know this. It's Gabriel. It'll always be Gabriel.
I'm kind of wondering, man. Well, since Gabriel is kind of like Castiel, in the fact that he has his own vessel.
Yeah.
Is he poking around as just like a regular person in the other universe, or is he?
I came to the conclusion that Gabriel is probably dead in the alternative universe.
Yeah,
due
I mean,
to
that's probably right. But
yeah, and the reason why I think this is because when in season 13, episode 22, Beat the Devil, right? Or is that episode? Whatever. No, Exodus. Sorry. Look at me making mistakes. When before they fight and before Gabriel dies, Michael kind of looks at him like, "Is that Gabriel?" So I'm honestly kind of thinking that
he was like the trickster or the Joker or something like that.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
When he looked at him, he was like the Joker or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. He kind of like looked at him like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like I thought you were dead.
Right.
So, I mean, my two theories on that is probably either Gabriel faked his death like he did in Hammer of the Gods in that universe, but something similar to that, because that was caused by Sam and Dean, or he was killed by Michael or one of the other archangels due to the apocalypse.
Okay, so let's get back to the Adam aspect of things. When it comes to that, do you think that he will portray Michael when they obviously inevitably let him out of the cage? I think it's going to be Michael versus Michael, to be completely honest with you.
I think if Michael does come out of the cage, I have a little bit of a different opinion about that. But if he does come out of the cage, they'll definitely use Adam as his vessel because, like, there's nobody else to be his vessel. And plus, Adam has been in the cage along with Michael since Swan Song. So, yeah, I would like to see Jake Abel. I think that's his name, Jake. Yeah, I would like to see him back on the show just because I kind of had a love-hate relationship with Adam. I liked his
really
character.
liked him in that first episode, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, he was kind of a prick. But I don't know. I would like to see him back. Definitely. And portray Michael, because I think he did a really good job in season 5 of doing so. And also just picturing it, like thinking of Dean versus, well, yeah, because Michael is inside of Dean right now. Dean versus Adam versus Michael. That sounds really cool. I personally don't think that they are going to bring him back at this moment in this season.
Well, no. Obviously, there's something that's going to go on. Given what we saw in the next episode preview, I definitely think that Jack is going to be the big bad.
Yeah, I'm working on a theory about that. And someone in the chat said, didn't Michael go crazy in the cage, though? Are you really going to trust
Michael
Lucifer?
Might be crazy, but you don't know what aspect of crazy that might be, for one. And, so was Gabriel. He was locked away we don't necessarily know where he was in hell, if he was in hell at all, but he was locked away and he was fucked up for a minute there too. So, one
of the things I like to mention about when it comes to the cage is that cage time is slower than hell time. I did the math, by the way. Sam, I did. Yeah. The whole 18 months that his soul was in hell equals to about 6,000 years. I made a whole ass video on it, but
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you remember, go ahead. But then I will tell people about the episode that the 2 episodes that I'm writing and how that's going to work out.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. So if you would like to take the wheel.
As you guys may know, I'm not sure if I said it in the intro video or not, but I did put it in the ad on Jade's channel for when we were going to start this. I am a writer. I am working on getting Writers Guild unionized right now. My grandfather was a film legend in terms of animation. He was the art director on Fantasia. You guys know that meme of the 2 Spider-Men pointing at each other?
I love
he drew that.
Did he really?
Yes.
Yo, your granddad made one of the most iconic memes. How do you
Right.
feel about that?
It's fucking awesome, man. It's so cool. He was also the layout director on Bambi, so that means he planned the hit on Bambi's mom. And it's just really, really cool to have that in my blood. But I'm a writer. I suck at art. I mean, I used to be pretty good at it when I was younger, but I don't have the patience for it now. So I'm much better with the written word. And one of the things that I've been wanting to do ever since season 8 is write a couple episodes. And not only am I going to be introducing a character called the Clerk that knew both Crowley and Balthazar at the same time, and they used to play cards together. But he has a bar that's kind of like Casablanca, where basically you have to be completely peaceful within this bar, no matter what you are. Anything can come in: wolf, werewolf, vampire, etc.
Winchester included.
Hunters included, man. But it turns out that the Winchesters come and they're looking for the Holy Grail. Why are they looking for the Holy Grail? Well, it turns out that can fix heaven. That has enough power within it to power heaven completely. How? Well, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to let the bag open on the whole supernatural thing. They're going to have to say, okay, guys, heaven and hell is real. We need everybody that might be a vessel to come drink from the Grail, because we need angels in heaven. And what does that mean, though, for Sam and Dean? Once they drink from it, they're the first 2 new archangels in existence. So that means that Sam and Dean can finally have, obviously you don't want to do this until the end, and they also have to get killed again, like they got killed in Dark Side of the Moon. And I'm gonna have a callback. I'm gonna have Dean look at the Clerk and say, when I get back, I'm gonna be pissed. It's gonna be a great fucking callback. And so that's basically the idea. And then they go into fixing heaven and having to navigate the waters between that and whatnot. I think it's a good idea. What does everybody think?
Well, I don't see any comments at the moment. I see a few right now. Personally, I like that idea. I'm not really too informed on religious stuff, but
Okay.
with the Holy Grail and stuff, which
Well,
actually sounds
I'm
like
not
a really cool idea.
Lore other than the Holy Grail is the Holy Grail,
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they had the staff of Moses and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they had they had the thing that the salt thing that Balthazar had that turned Raphael into salt.
Those are all weapons of God, or touched by God.
So the Holy Grail would be considered that as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you were saying that. The idea of Sam and Dean becoming archangels sounds really cool. It just scares me a little bit because, what if Sam and Dean get into an argument and they kill each other?
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't write it that way, but like I said, obviously this isn't something that you would want to do if you're gonna keep going for a few more seasons. This is something that you want to do later on. I would maybe open up the idea to the fact that the supernatural is real. It would totally shift the narrative, because I think the narrative of nobody realizes that the supernatural is real, especially after the angels falling and shit like that.
That was they claimed it as a meteor shower.
Yeah, so I just think it's time to do that Doctor Who type shift in narrative to where in Doctor Who they saved Gallifrey. Within this, let's make the supernatural that everybody knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that is a fresh kick in the ass for this show.
Mm-hmm. So we got a few comments.
Okay.
Teshua said, "Great idea. I always wanted Supernatural to end with the Winchesters becoming celestial beings."
Nice.
Elizabeth Unlimited says, "Definitely something for near the end of the series." I don't know how to say this person's username because it looks like a keyboard smash, but you know who you are. Is Dean's this is a question. Okay. I'm going to save that for later because we're going to be answering questions later. So if you guys have any questions, save them for later. Because we're going to be going through them in a little bit. I like that idea. I think the end will be Dean and Michael and Sam and Lucifer and them facing off. Sounds good. I've always liked the idea of them getting powers. All right. So that's your feedback.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm glad that everybody's on board with that. Like, I thought I was going to have a lot more pushback, but I kind of feel like they wrote themselves out of of danger with, you know, giving the fact that the Archangel blade won't kill the person on the inside.
Yeah, okay. That kind of fucking pisses me off a little bit that they decided to throw that in the beginning of season 14. We've seen, I don't understand why it changes, because if you stab a regular angel with a regular angel blade, the vessel also dies with the angel.
Yeah.
But now people are saying that, like, the Archangel's vessel can survive. That was like never a concept back like a few seasons ago. And
yeah,
it's like,
but I mean, I'm kind of hoping, because one of the things that I really haven't liked is when Lucifer was walking the earth again, like, say the horror didn't, like, you know, reappear, you know, the Whore of Babylon.
Whore of Babylon?
The girl that, remember when they went to that one town that was like all hunters?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
And they had to kill the chick that was supposedly a prophet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, Castiel said that she rises when Lucifer walks the earth, but when he was released, none of that happened. And like when he was released and he was by the water, it would have been awesome if they would have kept the idea of, you know, when I'm around, I actually burn cold, and he would have like froze the water. You know? So there's just some stuff that I feel it's kind of lazy, that the writing team, especially between seasons 9 through 11, have really kind of chapped my ass on. You know?
I agree. I think season 8 was kind of their peak after season 5, considering season 6 and 7 everyone absolutely hates, which I don't. I actually enjoyed season 6 and 7, but I can understand why people dislike it. I liked the Demon Dean plot. I wish it lasted longer. Season 10 was just, I don't even know. And then season 11 is my worst ranked season, just because I never liked the plot with Amara. But it does get a lot better towards the end with the reveal of Chuck as God and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So let's get back to the episode at hand. There's one more thing that I will tell you about my script later that you guys are going to love. The clerk character is going to be the new Crowley. He's going to be even better than Crowley, I promise you. But I know that's a tall order, but I promise you I can get it done. But back to the episode. Episode 200 fan fiction. Once again, what we're talking about. If anybody who's here right now doesn't know, the monster in the episode, I kind of didn't like it myself. But what did you think?
I thought it was a good concept because it's kind of like what was it? This
it was a god that loved theater or something like that.
It was the god who, I don't remember her name. If anyone who is watching this would like to Google it for me, because I think
what she was, though. It was a god that like loved theatrical performances or something like that, right?
It was something like that
or something.
Yeah, it was like I think it would apply to literature too. Like if this person has like a set goal to make something happen, then it has to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like what happened in the episode. Like exactly. Yeah. I kind of liked it. It was a little, I remember when I first watched this episode, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I didn't know it was the 200th episode because I was binge watching it online.
Okay.
So I was just like, why the fuck are they singing about Sam and Dean? Like, what? But it didn't occur to me until after I watched it that the reason why it was a musical episode was because of the 200th episode.
Well, and I'm kind of glad that it was a musical episode in the way they did it, instead of like doing, the Buffy thing where like they actually did a musical episode.
I'd never seen Buffy before, even though it's a little bit surprising considering me. But
I've never actually watched Buffy all the way through either. I've watched Angel all the way through because I loved Angel, man. But other than that,
only shows I've watched all the way through, except for Supernatural, would be BoJack Horseman, and I
That's a
think
great show, by the way. Yeah.
and I'm in the middle of watching Umbrella Academy right now because I love
Yeah,
Gerard Way.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, Calliope was her name.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Teshua. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, what did you think about their actual fan fiction? Like, I told you that I was writing an actual pilot for my own Angel thing. But what did you think about the idea of like robots and shit like that?
Oh God, the robots. Okay, I understand it to a degree because don't get me wrong, I have read some fucked up fan fiction on Archive of Our Own, on Wattpad, on fanfiction.net, on any site you can think of, Tumblr, for example, right? Not ever have I ever read a fan fiction with fucking robots.
I just want to apologize for the update thing that keeps popping up on my computer, guys. Hopefully it's not too loud.
Oh, I couldn't hear it, so I have my earbuds
cool.
in. Yeah, I honestly like. Oh, where was I at? Robots. Yeah. Listen, the only robots that are acceptable in Supernatural are the mandroids. But in all seriousness, though, from that perspective on that episode, I think it was kind of like a good like haha Sam and Dean fighting robots kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. But if I was actually looking for a good fan fiction to read and I see some shit about robots, I am removing it from like my life.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of was laughing at it too, but then now that I'm writing this thing, I'm actually writing about, robots and CERN and them trying to make souls from like, the atoms from the universe and shit like that. So it's kind of fun. It's just kind of ironic now that I'm writing about robots.
That sounds good. That sounds cool. I mean, like in Supernatural, it's just like, oh, big robot, scary dude who's coming to take over the planet. Like, well, okay, chill.
One person said that, I can't remember where I read it, but they're like, can you guys please give me an honest to God alien episode? And I'm like, no, dude, if they go aliens, like that's a little bit out of the spectrum of this show, man.
The closest thing that got to the aliens was the fairies.
Well, the fairies, and then there was also the alien in the first Trickster episode. That slow dance with the first guy. Remember, he was at the college and he was fucking with people. And one of the people said that he had to slow dance with an alien and he got abducted.
I don't remember that.
And you call yourself a Trickster fan? How dare you?
Oh wait, are you talking about Gabriel?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had a brain fart. Okay, wait, are you talking about
the first episode? He was at the college. This was like season 2.
Season 2, episode 11, Tall Tales.
Yeah, she was at the college, and one of the dudes said he got abducted by aliens.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The only thing I really, I'm a dummy. With that episode, I have not watched Tall Tales in a hot minute.
Oh, sure, I get it.
Yeah. I always just vividly remember Sam and Dean arguing to Bobby about each other.
And he was all like. Bobby was like, I've never actually got an actual 100% bona fide case of an alien or whatever.
Yeah. I love Gabriel so much. When he came back, sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, when Gabriel came back, I literally puked on myself. My dad saw it. He was just like, what the fuck is my daughter on?
Well, like fucking Mark had always said that Gabriel was coming back.
I knew he was gonna come back. I always knew he was gonna come back. When he was Richard.
In metafiction, when Castiel asked whether or not he was really back, I was like, he's really back.
There's actually a theory behind that. at that time, because during metafiction, everyone was theorizing that Gabriel was still alive because Metatron, because he was making Castiel see these things, right?
Right.
And that he had to be able to project that into Castiel.
Yeah.
That sounds wrong, but let me continue. in order to project that into Castiel, Gabriel would have to be alive. And he was alive. He was just trapped in hell being tortured by Asmodeus for God knows how long, 7 years, but you know.
Mm-hmm. So, obviously the ending of this episode was huge. I think everybody kind of knew that. I mean, Eric Kripke all but fucking said that Chuck was gone.
Yeah.
You know? But it was really cool to actually have Chuck back, and it was definitely, you know, I had been feeling that ever since the angels fell, God was on his way. You know,
Mm-hmm. I honestly, I never expected Supernatural to confirm who God was, just because I never really thought a show would Supernatural, for this case, would depict God as a person or have someone play God, because I know a bunch of angry Christians that would get super salty at that. But I'm actually surprised, because when season 11 came around and it was confirmed, I saw nobody being like, what are you doing? This,
you know, I'm actually amazed that there haven't been more Christians that haven't been salty about this show already.
Yeah, honestly,
you know, I mean, there was a cartoon back way before you were even born, Jade, called God, the Devil, and Bob. You don't understand how many fucking people fucking just exploded at the fact that God and Devil the Bob, or God, the Devil, and Bob was a cartoon. It got canceled because the Christians got all pissed off about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have a show like this that is so blatantly Judeo-Christian, it baffles me how nobody has, you know, stood up to it at this point. You know, I mean, Dogma by Smith got literally fucking picketed when it came out. Mm-hmm. So I mean, what's going on?
Maybe Supernatural is just that good that people don't want to protest against it.
You know, I say it is. Like, I do have an aunt. I'm a Christian myself, mm-hmm. but I'm not one of those Christians that tries to convert people or anything.
Yeah,
it's my business. I pray in private, basically. You know.
Yeah.
But my aunt is super Christian, and she does not watch shows that have anything to do with theology unless they're biblically sound. Mm-hmm. So she would not. If I was your age when this started, hang on, what was I going to say? If I was your age when this started, I would not have been allowed to watch the show if I were around her anyway.
No, I started watching Supernatural 4 years ago, so I'm almost 17, so 16. When I was 12 or 13, I started watching the show, and Christ, I remember watching it on my TV downstairs that I don't have anymore. And it was season 2, episode 21, when Sam got stabbed, and it was before all the biblical stuff kind of came in. I remember just my mom just being like, what the fuck are you watching? And why were you crying so much? Sam, my favorite character, is not. It was the first time I was actually watching the show all the way through. And I was on season 2, and apparently crying over your favorite characters is like a sin or something.
Right.
So
I cry in television shows and movies, man. I have anyway.
I was trying to go somewhere with that, but I forgot where I was going with it.
Whoops. The way that it's funny, the way that I got into this TV show, man, was kicking and fucking screaming. All right. Because, mm-hmm. you know, not only did I watch Angel, and I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I can do that again, you know? But my girlfriend at the time, I was 18, and she was 27. And she loved this show. And I remember the first honest to God episode that I watched was the one with the where they were at the hotel, and I think it was actually Fred from Angel that was the the innkeeper, she had a daughter, and the daughter had an imaginary friend, and it turned out that the imaginary friend was actually the dead person
Yeah,
that was the grandma's best
that's
friend or whatever.
Playthings. Yeah, I fucking love that episode.
And I remember watching that episode. It was me, my friend Randy, and my girlfriend at the time, Amy. And me and my Randy were watching the show, and we were just making fun of it so fucking hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next episode that I saw was the second season finale. And it was a back-to-back episode that night.
Yeah. Oh my God. Back-to-back episodes. I remember season 12, when I was watching it when it first came out. It was the first time I've ever actually been able to see a back-to-back finale. I was 2 hours.
Season 6 was like that too, because the week before it was a 2-hour Smallville finale.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, 2-hour episodes are awesome.
Oh, of course. Oh my God. I literally, whenever there is a back-to-back finale or back-to-back series of Supernatural on, you do not hear the end of it in my household. There is just constant screaming.
So the thing that finally got me into it to actually watch it was the episode My Bloody Valentine. I finally I actually sat down and watched it with my friend Tammy. She was a huge fan of this show too, and we were watching it. And when Dean called Cass the Hamburglar, and Happy Meal, I thought that was so fucking funny, man. I laughed for like 2 days because of that.
I like that episode.
And then I didn't watch it again until it was actually the same week that season 6 was about to start. I decided to go back and watch season 5 to see if they actually killed the devil. And I was like, man, they're really going to season 6. I mean, what are they going to kill now? Are they going to, are they going to do the Craft type shit? Bring Manon in it or something?
Yeah,
but,
sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah. So that's how I finally got into it. I went back and finally watched it all. I mean, it took me a while to go back and actually watch the first 2 seasons, because when you fucking watch this show, you have to get through those first 2 seasons. Those first 2 seasons are a fucking watch, man. You have to. It's definitely a calling, man. It's you either can do it or you can't.
Yeah, I remember when I first started watching the show. The first episode I saw was season 9, episode 8. It's when Sam was possessed by Gadriel. But I had no idea what the fuck was going on. But I started watching it shortly after I saw that. And I was just like, why do they look like babies? Like, and then, and the first,
I mean, they were literally like 25 and 26 when they started this show.
They were 22 and 26. Jared was 22. Jensen was 26 because, sorry, it took me a sec because it was in 2005.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah, I am right. But,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, when I first started watching the show, I just binge watched all of it up to I think season 9 or 8 on Netflix, and then I started watching it on some other site, and then I started watching it when it was coming out on TV. And honestly, like ever since then, my life has not been the same. And yeah, so I don't really have many interesting stories about watching Supernatural with other people because, like, I don't really do that often because I kind of
I didn't really have anybody to watch it with either. I watched a few episodes with a few people, but I've always really watched it alone until recently. I have someone to watch it with, but I think we've pretty much hit all the major points of that episode. I mean, obviously the boys came in, there was a musical, there was Adam, there was pretty much, the entire book series by Chuck. Chuck came at the end. They sang Carry On My Wayward Son, etc. I think we've really touched upon everything that we really can. I mean, it's an okay episode. It's not my favorite by any stretch of the means, but it was solid for a 200 episode. It was a good little hit,
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I think it was a really good episode. Obviously not my favorite. My favorite season 8, episode 21. But yeah, I think for the 200th episode, that was like perfect. It was weird, but also good at the same time.
Yeah. So I'm going to open up to questions now. Does anybody in the how many people are with us right now?
We have 9 right now. We do have a few questions from before that we did not get to answer.
Okay, yeah,
so,
we'll go through it, and then, but first, I want to go ahead and answer the one question that was on our last week's video. I'm going to pull that up real quick so I can go ahead and name check the person. Hopefully he's in here.
It was a Sushi Llama, I think. Maybe.
I think you're right. But I just want to make sure.
Yeah, there's a lot in here. Okay, so while Josh is getting up that question, why don't you guys I don't know, just ask questions.
Yeah, well, we'll stay here for
Mhm.
I mean, are you good to go until 8 p.m. my time, 11 p.m. your time, if that's what happens?
I could probably go until around there. I might have to cut
Okay.
it off around like 10:45-ish.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
That gives us a half hour.
Alright.
Yeah, Sushi Llama was the person with the question, and their question was, what character would you bring back and why? You said Gabriel before. Go ahead and give me a why you would want to bring him back at this point. What purpose would he have after, sacrificing himself selfishly in the way that he did?
So I've always loved Gabriel. If you ignore my forgetfulness from before. But I've always enjoyed I'm the youngest sibling in my family. Gabriel is too, right? And I've always kind of related to Gabriel in a little bit because he doesn't want to get involved with the whole Lucifer and Michael apocalypse thing, but he doesn't want to like go off the rails and rebel against everybody. He's just kind of letting it happen, And I feel like Gabriel deserves a lot better, considering, one, he is the reason why Sam and Dean were able to not close the gates of hell, to lock Lucifer in the cage, because Gabriel was the one who showed them how to get the rings, right? And then after that, I've always wanted Gabriel to come back after season 5, after his death.
Yeah.
And when he came back in season 13, I was expecting him to actually stay for longer than like 6 episodes.
Yeah, I really thought he was too. Like the one thing that I hate about this show is they're always so fucking kill happy.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I asked a question at the Supernatural convention I went to. What would they like to see? It was when Richard and Rob were on stage. I asked if their characters were to hypothetically come back, what they would like to see. And Richard said that he feels like Gabriel's story is pretty much, he likes where it is.
After the last death?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel that too, but I mean, I wouldn't say no to him coming back, obviously. It's like, why not? But I kind of feel that he's done as much as he can, and this death was truly heroic,
Exactly. I mean, I am kind of salty about how he died.
Other Gabriel comes back through. Let's say the other Gabriel is out there on the other Earth, and he breaks through. Like they could go after him, like totally. I would be fine.
It
with
has
that.
to be Richard Spade Jr. playing him, though. That's the
Absolutely.
only thing.
But make him completely different than our Gabriel. Make him badass Gabriel or something,
I think Gabriel's pretty badass. Not even gonna lie. Already. I just feel like
in the way that they made all the other angels from Apocalypse World. That's all.
Yeah. I agree. I think that if Gabriel was to come back, I would like to see maybe an alliance with the Winchesters, kind of maybe from a distance, kind of similar to Rowena and how Crowley used to be. Because I fucking love Gabriel. So that's my answer. So did you answer before or no?
Did I answer? No. I said I was going to hold in mind. All right. My favorite character from Supernatural, even more favorite than Sam and Dean, believe it or not, Ash.
Yes.
We need Ash to come back. Heaven has been fucked up since season 9. They should have brought Ash back in season 9. When they needed to go get Bobby from hell, they should have pulled his ass out of heaven and fucking like took him into hell with them. When hell was all fucked up because of what Metatron did to it, they should have been on the inside. Bobby, Ash, Ellen, Joe, all trying to figure out what was going on. That's how I would have written this show. All right. But we cannot have a broken heaven storyline without fucking Ash.
I agree, honestly, because I remember when we saw them in
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. Okay, yeah, it took me a second. Sorry. When we saw them in Dark Side of the Moon, like Ash had rigged up to Angel Radio. Like that guy could
rigged up to Angel Radio. He had a algorithm for it, and he could slide inside and outside everybody's heaven. I mean, we got that fucking we had that fucking psychic chick back the other last week or something like that.
Pamela.
2 weeks ago. I think it was. Wasn't it 2 weeks ago? Like 2 episodes ago?
Episode 10.
Yeah, it was the one that they came back after Christmas.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was episode 10. Because episode 9 was mid-season finale.
Okay,
so when they went into
3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely need Ash. How does everybody feel about that, Jade?
Someone said yes! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. We do have a lot of questions though. So
okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's spit out the questions.
So I'm gonna. How about we go through them and then you give me an answer, you give the answer, I'll give the answer, and then I'll go to the next one.
Quick because we only have about 25 minutes, guys. But we will give you short and sweet answers. And if you guys are interested, I would love to stay on with everybody on my channel afterwards and talk to you guys a little bit more. I'd like to hear about what maybe you would like to see on my channel. So are some of you guys maybe willing to come over to my channel after that or after this?
If you guys want to go subscribe to the Dead Letter Collection, by the way, the link is in the description. And Teshwa, if you could please put the link in the chat, that would be great. In due time. So yeah. Where was I? I forgot.
Go ahead and start rattling
questions. All right. Is Dean's World Archangels the original Archangels that Chuck created, or are they replacements of the original that Chuck what?
I'm not understanding the question. Can you rephrase it, please? Whoever typed that.
All right, yeah. Yeah, they're the person with the keyboard spam username. Anyway, let's continue. Okay. Zach asks, "Hey, been watching you for a while. Love your enthusiasm for the show.
Thanks,
Who's your favorite characters outside Sam, Dean, and Cass?"
I just gave you mine.
Yeah, you said Ash. Sam is my favorite character, but Gabriel and Jack and Crowley. I love Crowley and Rowena and Charlie.
But okay, right. I swear to God, though, if you guys read what I'm going to write, I'm actually going to start writing it here this week. I'm going to create a character called the Clerk, and like I said, he runs a bar that's kind of like Casablanca. Now, the reason that he's so awesome is because, like I said, he used to play poker with both Balthazar and Crowley at the same time. But also, you guys, did you realize that someone that could be an angel can be an angel, they can be a demon, they can turn into a monster, everything. This guy has done that, okay? And because he has done that, it has turned him Joker levels of crazy. So you never know whether or not you can trust him, and he fucking kills his henchmen all the time, stuff like that. This character is going to be great. He's going to be your guys' new favorite character of fan fiction, I promise you.
Agreed. Would you like me to continue with the questions?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. Teshwa says, "My prediction is that Jack will kill himself when he sees he's going evil. What do you think?"
No, I think that once his soul is gone, he's not going to be able to differentiate whether or not he's evil. Just like Sam wasn't able to, just like Donatello isn't able to. I think that he's going to be the big bad. His powers are going to come back, and we're going to have a big problem on our hands.
Because the 19th episode for this season is going to be called Jack in a Box, I have a little bit more of a theory about what I think is going to happen to Jack, but it involves him going dark side, losing his soul, and something with the box. So I will be making a video about that, though. Next question.
Yep, go ahead.
All right. Do you think A.U. Michael's vessel was his true vessel since
What is AU, Michael?
Alternative universe, Michael.
Okay, go ahead.
So do you think AU Michael's vessel was his true vessel? Since Sam and Dean weren't born, is it possible AU Michael and Lucifer had different true vessels? I have an answer for this, actually.
Go ahead.
Because Sam and Dean are always going to be the true vessels of Michael and Lucifer, it is possible for for the archangels to possess somebody in that same bloodline. It's been explained multiple times in the show that
I
the
almost
way that
wonder if John was Lucifer.
John was possessed by Michael, not Lucifer.
No, I mean,
So
in an alternate universe.
maybe I honestly think that John's bloodline is attached to Michael's and Mary's is attached to Lucifer's.
Okay.
So
I'm just wondering, like, because they said that he died years ago, and then also Michael said that he ripped Lucifer apart.
mhm.
So it just made me wonder, maybe Mary.
Well, actually, no, because in that world, Mary never
Wouldn't
made
it
the
be
deal
fucked
to
up if it
save.
was Mary versus John in that fucking universe, though?
That'd be cool. Oh my god. But as cool as that would be, it stated in the show that because Sam and Dean were never born in that universe, John Azazel was the one who killed John, right? And Mary made that deal with Azazel to bring John back.
Well, no,
So
she didn't
in
make
that
the deal. I thought.
yeah, in that universe she didn't. That's why Sam and Dean weren't ever born.
Right.
So that's how John died in that universe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done it differently. I would have made John versus Mary in that universe.
That would have been
because
really
it would have been a good beat for Sam and Dean to kind of have to go, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Do you think there should be a spin-off of Supernatural?
Yes.
I also agree.
I think that Wayward Daughters show should have gotten picked up.
Wayward Sisters definitely should have gotten picked up. I can understand why Bloodlines didn't get picked up, but Wayward Sisters.
Yeah, Bloodlines was trying way too hard to fucking be Supernatural, and I like the overall idea, but at the same time, I'm like, what do monsters need with crime? It's like there's a Star Trek movie where they meet like the devil on the outside of the outer band of the galaxy, and one of the questions is this devil type being is like, give me a starship, and he's trying to be God. He's trying to tell these guys that he's God, and Kirk is like, what does God need with a starship? You know, and it's like within this is like, what do monsters need with crime? So that show should have definitely never been brought up. That character was a fucking asshole the entire time anyway. And Wayward Daughters, though, I thought really had some legs, and I don't know why they didn't pick it up. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure Wayward Sisters got replaced over, I think, DC what is it, Legacies?
Yeah.
I think so. I honestly think that
if we can, make my episodes known by the people at WB, considering my grandfather used to work for WB, I have a good chance. We can make the Clerk and his bar the new spinoff, baby.
That'd be cool, and then have the Wayward Sisters in there too.
Now, Jade, if that happens, you're gonna be an executive producer on it, baby.
Hell yeah. All
right. The next question.
Favorite overall season? Mine is 3. Loved how it was shorter and didn't expect it to end the way it did. Powerful stuff. So your favorite season?
Shorter because of the writer's strike, though.
Yeah. Well, that was what he said. My favorite is season 8, as I say religiously all the time. What about you, Josh?
I find myself watching 5 and 6 a lot. I don't like the first half of 6. I like the second half of 6. I think that the twist with Castiel working with Crowley is fucking amazing. But I would have to say, it's kind of a cop out. But season 5 and season 8 are definitely my top 2 seasons, because I love that ending of 8. I mean, that's the most cinematic ending I've ever seen in a television show.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think the ending for season 4 as well was pretty nice. I like the whole the circle thing with Lucifer coming out. That was
the vine, like the road vine. That was awesome.
Yeah, but season 8 will always have a special place in my heart just because the whole Trials arc with Sam, loved it. Continue.
You know, it's really funny. Like there's a show on Sci-Fi called Magicians, and my girlfriend likes to watch it. And I started watching it. I couldn't understand why I didn't like this show. Like I really just didn't like it. And then it turned out that it was because Sarah Gamble was the fucking showrunner on it. And I was like, oh, that's why, man, because I fucking hate Sarah Gamble. Like she hates Castiel. So
yeah, agreed. I honestly, how can you hate Cass? Like, I loved the Lucifer arc in season 7.
She was seriously trying to get rid of him in season 7 for good.
Yeah.
And it was ran backlash at that brought him back in that episode with Meg and everything.
Season 7, episode 17. Sorry. That's one of my favorite ones of actually one of my favorite episodes.
I watched that episode a lot, actually.
Yeah. The Born Again Identity is probably one of my favorite. It's my favorite episode of season 7. Yeah. I think honestly, if they spent more time focusing on the Sam and Lucifer plot rather than the whole Leviathan plot, I would have been a lot more happier with season 7.
Yeah, I mean that whole Sam and Lucifer plot was kind of fast and loose.
And they also didn't show it that much
either. They would have confirmed that it was really Lucifer fucking with him and he just wasn't crazy, you know. But I digress. Mm-hmm. I mean that's 7 years ago. We're far past that now. So, what's next?
I don't know if this is a question or just Chuck created all worlds based on A.U. Michael's comment to Cass in season 14, episode 10, and reveals so much about his motives. Guess Chuck also created the fairies. Thoughts on that? Chuck address. You mean my thoughts on? Oh, okay. So the thoughts on Chuck, our who we've seen before in the show, being the creator of all the universes. If you remember in season 14, episode 10, Michael explains to Castiel that basically other universes are kind of like his rough drafts. I have a lot of opinions about this because I made a multiverse theory a while back ago. Yeah. But if you would like to explain first.
Well, if you want to go ahead and hit me with the broad strokes, I'd love to hear it.
All right. So I've always if there's multiple, the easiest explanation for this would be there's multiple archangels, so there has to be multiple gods, right? Because
no, I don't Chuck, think there is multiple gods myself, but go ahead.
I meant I always thought that there was one Chuck per universe.
Okay, that makes sense. I disagree, but go ahead.
And the reason why I thought this was because I always kind of pictured see, pretend my two hands are two different universes. This is Sam and Dean's world, and this is
we're getting technical here, obviously.
All right, so I can't draw a fucking diagram. So but so these are the two universes, right? I always kind of pictured the space between these two universes as the empty, because that's kind of like the fabric between the two universes, right? And that's also where angels and demons go when they die. Now, I always kind of pictured that Chuck and Amara were always kind of the start of each universe, and from there, it kind of continued on. I was a little spooked, though, when I heard Michael say one Chuck, and then, one god, and then a bunch of rough drafts.
You see, I'm more receptive to that because I read comics, and, the whole darkness, I told you before that, I knew how the darkness God storyline in season, was it 10 or 11? 11, right? Yeah, I knew how that was going to end because it was obviously a riff on the DC comic story that basically did the same thing. The God and the darkness, they came together and stuff like that in order to, fulfill the yin and the yang and whatever. So within DC Comics, there's only one Darkseid. Darkseid is the new god. He's you know who Darkseid is, right? Have you ever seen the Justice League cartoon or anything?
I have not.
Okay, well think of Darkseid as the devil of the DC universe. Okay. And he lives on a planet called Apocalypse, and then there's also New Genesis, and that's the good gods. Okay, and there's only one Apocalypse and one New Genesis, and then there's 52 Earths. So it's kind of like that. So I'm accustomed to that more. So I guess I kind of was already in the bag for like one god for all the universes, but I understand how you feel too. Like I wouldn't mind either way, to be honest with you. But I kind of like the idea that there's only one God, because he already did talk about how Amara had constantly destroyed all of his creations before they went to war. So it kind of just made sense to me that he was making Earth after Earth after Earth, trying to find the right one.
What I've always kind of thought, though, was considering each universe has its own Michael, Lucifer, Gabriel, and Raphael, I always kind of thought that because they all had their own archangels, that there would have to be another god with that universe. Just because the archangels were made shortly after God was, because God created them after that.
Okay.
And
I think that we'll find out for sure either way once
yeah,
God and Amara come back. Obviously, they're going to have to come back eventually, especially if there's a Nephilim on the loose, man, and they don't know how to kill it. We'll have to fucking do something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I always kind of thought that.
Obviously, they're coming back eventually.
Yeah. I think that, honestly, in that episode, season 14, episode 10, I think that's kind of Michael's thoughts on the whole thing, not really necessarily the truth. Because if he knew that there was just, sorry, I forgot what I was saying. I honestly think that's kind of his story, because he kind of thinks, oh, just God just left. These are his drafts. These are his universes. I kind of think that Michael may have possibly, I don't want to say made it up, but that's kind of what he explains it as, because that's how he can explain it,
Okay. That makes sense.
All right. Enough of my rambling.
No, you're good, man. I just didn't have anything to add to that.
So are the archangels in Dean's world Michael, Lucifer, Raphael, and Gabriel that Chuck/God created the first archangels, or are they replacements of the original ones that Chuck created? I wouldn't say that they're replacements.
That's a little bit too much inside baseball. I don't even think the writers actually thought that through, to be honest.
Yeah. I honestly don't know. I
like I said, I don't even think the writers of the show know that. So
yeah.
When you get that far, you eventually you just get lost in Eventually, you just get lost in possibilities and shit, and I don't really want to get lost in that, because eventually everybody's gonna have an opinion, and you're gonna start fighting, and I'm not gonna touch that one. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that one with like a 10-foot pole, because I honestly think that Michael, Lucifer, Raphael, and Gabriel are all assigned to each universe, and they're not necessarily replacements to each other, if that makes sense. Next question. I think maybe a post-supernatural spinoff with the Archangel Winchesters, but they wouldn't be the main characters. That would be regarding your
my show, huh?
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. If Supernatural had a PG-13 movie, where would you put the one expletive they're allowed? So like curse word and stuff.
I would have Dean say "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker."
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes. I really wish they were allowed to curse in Supernatural. I really did.
Well, if they were put on at 10, they could, but what are you gonna do?
This isn't necessarily a question, but felt bad for Sam that season, especially with the Amelia storyline. There's actually what?
Can you repeat that?
Felt bad for Sam that season, especially with the Amelia storyline. They're referring to. There's actually a theory I've come across that Sam actually made up the whole thing with Amelia in his head, because he was so distraught after Dean disappeared. Yeah. I've heard that before. I like to believe it a little bit, just because I don't see Sam and Dean as the kind of romance dudes because, you know, Sam Winchester has a curse of like every girl he ever does it with ends up dying. So
Yeah, that's fair.
anything to comment?
Yeah, I mean, there was a question, I think on one of your videos that I had seen, like whether or not Ben and Lisa were going to come back. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen either. You know, I think that the boys are finally resigned to not having a love life, at least in the immediate future.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I honestly don't see them ever having like a love life or anything like that. Just because Sam and Dean,
I could see them. You know, I would be fine with it if they met like two hunter girls.
Yeah,
and like they wanted to do it that way. I would be okay with that. You know.
But the thing is also the more people that Sam and Dean associate themselves with, the more people that are in harm's way.
Yeah, they're on fucking mortal danger for sure. Yeah.
Charlie, Kevin, Crowley, Cass, everybody they've ever associated themselves with. Yeah. What's the next question? God made the archangels to fight Amara. Why did he make so many? 4 Forever Universe with only 4 names and 4 personalities.
Can you repeat that one more time?
If God made the archangels to fight Amara, why'd he make so many with only 4 names and personalities? 4 Forever Universe.
If God made only 4,
if God made, God made the archangels to fight Amara, right? Why'd he make so many, like 4 universe?
Well, I mean, obviously it took 4 to win, so I guess he would just keep making them until he won.
I honestly don't think he made them for. He made 4
either, but yeah.
He didn't make like 4 and 4 and 4 and 4. I think it, like I said before, I still stick with my theory that there's one God per universe. So it would make sense that God had the 4 archangels help block up the darkness in that universe. But again, you could argue it because it would technically be canon what Michael said if you believe him.
I mean, you also have to realize that, you know, the writers aren't writing this show from like nothing. They're writing it from actual lore. So, you know, those are actual archangels in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
there's actually a lot more. Like Metatron is actually an archangel. I'm kind of pissed that they fucking dropped the archangel part. Like it was written in that tablet in A Slice of Kevin. But you know, Uriel is actually an archangel in lore too. So it's kind of really strange on how Kripke decided to, you know, go about writing this. I think that he just wanted to kind of simplify it. He made 4 archangels. I assume that there's probably like 400 angels, but now they're all dead. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I agree. But there's more questions. So Teshua said, I picked up DC's Lucifer comic. Josh, read it too. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Neil Gaiman is a fucking amazing writer.
Next is Zach. What's your theory on how Michael will be defeated?
What is my theory on how Michael will be defeated? Like I said, I honestly think that they're going to let Michael out of the cage, and it's going to be Michael. Michael is going. If Michael does not kill the other Michael, he is definitely going to be an assist, and Dean will have the will either say yes to well, it's kind of how would that work? Let's say Dean expels Michael, or somehow he expels Michael. Michael finds another vessel. The other Michael comes through. I think that the Michael on our Earth is not evil. At least that's the way I'm going to write it. I'm going to write Michael as a redeemable character. The way that I'm going to write it, like you guys know how Castiel was brainwashed by Naomi with that tool in heaven. I'm going to make it to where Michael was brainwashed as well. And because the whole time he didn't really seem evil. He more seemed like he was just doing what, you know, the prophecy was said that needed to happen, and what he thought that his father expected from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna bring it out to where Michael is a good guy on our Earth, and it's gonna be Michael versus Michael. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. I'm still working on a theory about how I think Michael is going to be defeated.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet on how I would have him be defeated, but I like I said, I will bring Michael out of the cage, Adam out of the cage, have Adam betray Michael, and maybe do Adam versus Dean, Michael versus Michael. You know.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't really have much to comment on that, but like, yeah, that sounds pretty nice. I would agree to a degree about wanting Michael back from the cage. It would be a really cool fight to see. I'm just not sure if the writers will do it. We have a few more questions. It's getting a little late, but it's fine.
Yeah,
We can finish the rest of these.
Three last questions.
Three last questions.
If you guys, bleh, are you guys wanting me to maybe go on my channel and live stream, and we can talk a little bit more about what I'm going to do on my channel? You guys can ask me some more questions and whatnot. How does that sound, guys?
Sorry, the live stream is a little bit laggy, by the way, just to let you know. So I'm watching it on my phone right now, by the way. Screenception.
Oh, I didn't even think to do that.
No, yeah, I'm on my channel right now. I'm watching the comments. What else do we got? Oh, Teshua said he'll join you.
Okay, cool, man.
All right, so.
Hello, Cortex. This is my cat.
We have is that your cat? I saw a cat. Oh, what a fucking god right there. What a thickie. I love your cat. I love your cat. Oh my god. You're getting me distracted. Fuck. All right. Okay, so I gotta pick some good questions. Where do you think Sam and Dean go when they finally die, either in canon or off the screen? Will Chuck step in to prevent them from going to the empty and give them the latex girls and booze Dean's
I don't think they're going to go to the empty anymore, because Billy came to terms with the fact that the Winchesters are more important to this universe than anything. So
at the time being, yeah,
they're going to go to heaven.
I hope so too. I agree. I think that maybe later in a few seasons there could be like a plot point of one of them getting stuck in the empty because they die, and Billy's like, "Ha, fuck you, bitch."
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of feel like we've already done that with Cass, so we'll see what happens though.
Mm-hmm. All right, one more question. Which Michael's better, our Michael or the alternative universe Michael?
Our Michael for sure.
I agree.
I mean, I like the fact that they decided to, like, one up and be like, "These aren't your fucking daddy's angels, bitch." But I just like our Michael better. I think he's more articulate. I think that he's more patient. I think that he's smarter, and I think that he'll win.
Mm-hmm. I just want to apologize to people whose questions I did not get to. There's a good amount of y'all commenting in here, so.
But like I said, I'm gonna be on my channel right after this. It's the Dead Lighter Collection. It's in the description. I'll sit here for another 2 hours and answer questions for you guys. So,
I have to go to bed because I have an actual sleep schedule, or I try. Yeah. So again, I got. If you guys want to go see Josh and his live stream, make sure you go check out his channel. The link is in the description of this video. And Teshua, my lovely moderator, has also posted it in the live chat.
I appreciate you, man.
Mm-hmm. So, any closing thoughts before we skedaddle?
We're gonna put up another poll for next week. I think that I'm gonna do random episodes this time, though. I'll pick 2 of my favorite. Jade will pick 2 of hers, and we'll see which ones you guys want to do. All right.
All right. I agree with that.
Next week is going to be just a regular episode, though, not a live stream. So look for it on Friday.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just for clarification, this week's episode was live because why not?
Sneak attack, bitch.
Yeah. But most of the time we are planning to do episodes pre-recorded on Thursday nights and posting them Fridays. So
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Like I said, I'm going to be live on my channel right after this. I'm going to talk to Jade probably for a few minutes, and then I will. Let's say I will be on there at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And don't I don't know. Don't get possessed by any demons.
Yeah, it's really funny, man. On your last video, you were like, "Don't get possessed, but do drugs."
Yeah. Do drugs. Don't stay in school. And don't get possessed by ADD. I was having a mental breakdown during that video, so like
so funny, man. I was like, ah.
Yeah, I usually I end my videos with "Don't get possessed by any demons."
Right.
Sometimes it's "Don't get possessed by any archangels" either. But
next time you guys see Jackers too, man. I hope you guys like that character. We're gonna have a lot of fun with them. I think you guys are really gonna like what we're gonna do with them next time.
Jackers is
that's
god.
the only scripted part of this, man. I'm having a blast with it. All right, guys. Nostrovia, that means cheers in Russian. So have a good night.
And don't get possessed.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.